Hello everyone and welcome back to School Build Gaps. Now we're back with a series regarding motion and speed. In this episode, I'll be just introducing you all to the basics of motion and speed. What is motion? So motion is basically in which a object moves from one place to another place. That will be the distance covered by that object. And motion always happens in respect to time or over time. Whatever happens in a particular time. Whatever area a particular object travels, it travels over a particular time. So if you see the wind blowing, the air particles travel from one place to another. A car like a man driving a car along the street, that is a car moving from one place to another in respect to or over time. The same way, all of the things around us, they all move from one place to another in regards to time. Also, like the particular things which describe motion, that is displacement, a place moving from one place to another, like its original place is changed. Distance, from where to where is it placed. Velocity, how fast does it travel. Acceleration, in which, like in what time does a particular object catch speed. How much does an object travel in a particular time. And time, obviously time is very important for distance. We like observe how much a object has moved as we see its original position and we see its position after it has moved. Now we'll be seeing different types of motion. There are like 5 or 6 types of motions in total. The first one is linear or rectilinear motion. In this motion, basically an object just travels in a straight line. It does not go in a circular motion, which is very simple. When you push a box, when a car moves along a straight line without changing its lane, when you and your schoolmates march across a path, those are all examples of linear or rectilinear motions. Now, circular motion. Circular motion is a movement of an object along the circumference of a circle or rotation along a circular path. See, when an object moves, like there is a point and from there it moves in a perfect circular motion. It repeats the same motion every time it moves. That is known as a circular motion. When we see satellites, so satellites go around the earth or revolve around the earth in a perfectly like round motion or circle motion. The same way we see roller coasters. When roller coasters, there are loops in roller coasters, they move in a circular motion, and also a hammer through. What is rotatory motion? Rotatory motion is the motion that occurs when a body rotates around its own axis. The earth has an axis and it moves around it. So there is an axis and the stuff moves around it. Whatever the object is, it moves around that thing. A spinning top, even a Ferris wheel. See, there is like one axis is there and the whole Ferris wheel moves along it. Rotating blades of a helicopter as well, and even a fan. Fan also move in a rotatory motion. Curvilinear motion. Motion along a curved path that may be planar or in 3 dimensions. So now when the curving motion is like the motion, it is the straight opposite of linear motion. In linear motion, object moves in a straight line, in a linear path. Whereas in a curvilinear motion, they do not move in a particular straight path. They can move in any way, in a curve, for example. Motion of a roller coaster along its track. A roller coaster is not straight, as we also saw earlier, and they move around in any pattern. Motion of fighter jets during a national parade. If you have seen it on like Republic Day or Independence Day, if you have seen national parades, you might have seen the fighter jets and the patterns, the interesting patterns that they make with the smokes coming out of the planes. Oscillatory motion. Oscillatory motion can be termed as the repeated motion in which an object repeats the same movement over and over. You know, grandpa clock, you might have heard that term, in which there's a pendulum and like with every second it finishes one rotation, or one rotation, like from its starting point to point A, then from again to the starting point to point B and back to the starting point. That whole journey is like covered in 1 minute. The same way is like the strings of a guitar. When you strike a guitar or strung it, the wires inside it, they move in an oscillatory motion. The gong of a bell, when you go to temples and when you ring the bells, the gong moves from one side to another and it returns to its original place or starting point after a certain period of time. Tablas are covered by an animal skin or sometimes by synthetic materials also. And when you play tablas, they will move like from top to bottom. They will travel from point A to point B and then back to the starting point. Now we have already seen motion and its types, and we will now see speed. In everyday use and in kinetics, the speed of an object is the magnitude of the change of its position. It is thus scalar quantity. The average speed of an object in an interval of time is the distance traveled by the object divided by the duration of interval. Speed has the dimensions of distance divided by time. The SI unit of speed is meter per second. Now, what is speed? Speed is the distance traveled by an object in respect to time. If we take a car and it takes it 2 hours to travel 100 km, for example, and speed is equal to distance upon time, then here our distance is 100 km and the time is 2 hours. And here we are going to calculate in kilometer per hour for now, and then if we want we can change it into meter per second. Distance is 100 kilometer and time is 2 hours, so when we divide 100 by 2 we get 50. So that will be 50 kilometers per hour. That will be the speed of the car which travels 100 kilometers, which takes 2 hours to travel 100 kilometers. This is how we calculate speed. Thank you so much for watching School World Gaps, and if you like this video or you learned anything new from it, please like, share and subscribe.